Welcome back folks. In today's video I am going to show you why I think ETH can double from here and can do at least 100%, but not before we had a quick peek at BTC. This is how we left the chart yesterday. I gave you 5 trades, 2 shorts, 3 longs. They're still very much active and in play. That was a short SFP from that local high that we created here on Thursday. That's starting off from approximately 62,800. Then a short here from the naked point of control that we created, that is approximately 61,300. Then we have our first long from taking out lows right here on the left, and in combination with a high volume node from approximately 57 to let's say 56.5. And then we are having a long from a very juicy level, a daily, a naked weekly point of control, another daily level, the range point of control, and the golden pocket, starting off from approximately 55k all the way down to 54k. Very juicy trade. And then of course we still have a long here as an SRP from the bottom that we created here during the dump from approximately 49k. Okay, with that being said, I also need to make a quick announcement that I did take a trade yesterday. Not one of the trades, of course, that we just talked about, because those have not been touched and therefore were not activated or invalidated. But I took a trade yesterday here. I went short here on the golden pocket. We hit a very local level, and I went short here on the golden pocket, had my stop loss just above this high. And now with the idea that if we would run this high, we would also take out this high, and therefore I have my stop loss pretty tight. And I saw myself getting stopped out, and the price shoot only $50 higher on a price of more than 60k, $50 higher, stopped me out, and then went lower. And also put this very transparent on Twitter or X, and I said I unfortunately got stopped out. Price moved only 50 US dollar higher than my stop loss, and then reversing lower. So yeah, that's very much a bummer. Of course, textbook said you would keep your stop loss here above this high, but like I said, I was thinking if we're going to take this high, we're probably gonna run all 3 highs, so might as well mitigate my risk, get a tighter stop loss, and therefore also higher risk to reward. And yesterday it didn't play out, unfortunately, and after that the price reversed. I just want to give that to you as a quick notion that I am completely transparent in the trades that I'm taking, and I absolutely cannot win every trade. Alright, cool. With that being said, let's move over to ETH. This is ETH on the 1 hour. Before we're going to zoom in on local price action, there are 2 important things that I want to show you. This is a tap of the ETH price into the golden pocket. This happened during the dump. This is not just a golden pocket. This is the golden pocket measured all the way from the bottom of the bear market to the high that we created here in March, all the way down. And therefore ETH is one of the only majors that has been touching the golden pocket with a retrace. Most of the other coins have not, and therefore I find this very interesting. Not my kind of area right away where I would enter a long, and the reason is because this is such a macro area, such a big golden pocket. Also the range here is approximately 5%. I do not want prices to touch it and then right away go higher. I want price to spend some time in here, especially when it is such a big area, like approximately 5%. So what I then would like to see is a dump, some time, maybe catching some lows and taking out some highs, again some lows, and eventually going higher. And then somewhere in here is then the trigger for your entry. That for me is a much cleaner sweep and test of the area before eventually going higher than just one tap. There's also one other thing that I want to show you, and that is, maybe you see the percentage here on my screen, from the current price to the all-time high is 85%. And ETH of course next to BTC has not taken out the all-time high, where BTC is making one all-time high after another. Alright, keep that in mind. We're now quickly going to zoom in here on the 1 hour, because there are a few things that I want to show you, because slowly all the signs are, of all the stars are lining up for ETH to pull the trigger on a long. We have 3 major levels. We have a daily level here at 2,555. Naked weekly point of control 2,453, and we're having a daily level here at 2343. Other than that, if I would pull a volume node from the dump to where we are right now, then you can see that the value area high is lining up with the daily level, and the current point of control of the range is exactly lining up with that naked weekly point of control. But also, if I would pull a fib retracement from the highs to this local low, then you can also see that the golden pocket is lining up right here with that naked weekly point of control and the range point of control. Double confluence, very, very nice. But if I would also pull it all the way here to the low, then you can see that that daily level is also lining up with that bigger golden pocket. So therefore, that will be two major entries for me to get from that golden pocket. And what I would actually really like to see, if we eventually going lower, take out even the liquidity underneath this low, so dip a little bit lower than a golden pocket, hitting that daily level, and maybe spend 1 or 2 hourly candles there, and then eventually go higher. This would be a massive entry for me, and it will probably ham in quite a big portion of my portfolio. And the second one is then of course the one that I just showed you, that is then from here, from that naked weekly point of control, from that more local golden pocket, and from the range point of control. I do have to say you are longing then that point of control, which is then almost kind of the middle of the range. That is usually not the best idea, but it could still work out nonetheless. Why am I saying that? Well, that's actually very simple, because let's say that the low is in and that we eventually are moving higher from here. Then you don't want to wait for this low to be filled, to be tapped again, or going back into the golden pocket. So you want to look for something that's a little bit closer by, and maybe eventually you just get a scalp, you go a little bit higher, take some profit, move your stop loss to entry, and eventually reverse. That's fine, but you were still able to take 1 TP. And the same goes of course also for the trade here underneath. If you will hit it, go a little bit higher, you can take some profit, move stop loss to entry, and if you eventually reverse, fine, but still you were able to take a profitable trade in case you are wrong. Third long would be an S&P at the low. However, not really keen on this, because like I said, I like us to then spend some time here and that very macro golden pocket. So if we eventually are going lower and we would do something like this, if we're getting S&P, not sure if I will trade it, but like I said, I want to see some price action in here before we are going higher. I really think that we are going to see some kind of a reaction in this macro golden pocket, because it is such a big level on such a big time frame, and it doesn't mean again a tap and go, but then spend some more time and eventually see a quite a move to the upside from that macro golden pocket. So these are 3 longs that I am looking out for, and I am becoming a bit more bullish. Let's say that we would take here this first golden pocket where I just drew it on, so the first long, then maybe you can already see it, you're getting 100% return on your trade if you have the balls to keep it open all the way to the previous all-time high. And just to be clear with you, I'm expecting at least a new all-time high, probably much higher. If you would have the balls to keep if you are longing from this level, then suddenly you see you're getting 108%, moving go lower, and you hold your trade, and you already talk about 130, 140%. ETH has been lacking against BTC quite some. You can also see it here in the chart, ETH versus BTC. But this is of course just screaming liquidity. So I think it will be rather sooner than later that eventually this is going to reverse. The price is going to get back into this pattern. It's taking out maybe something like a bump and run, and then you will see a massive catch-up rally from ETH versus BTC, where I think that BTC would just go sideways, slightly up for weeks and months to come, and then I think you can see a major rally in the price of ETH, to eventually that this will catch up. So far this is kind of what I'm expecting, and this actually also looks right now on the daily time frame a bit like a fake out, where you spend some time at the bottom of the range, people thinking we're breaking down. This is actually just nothing more than deviation, and then eventually you get back in, you spend some time, and then poof, you're off to the races and you're making new highs. That would then also coincide with our idea that you might go down one more time, maybe retest something, and eventually you're off to the races And talking about liquidity, what I just said in the other chart, that's also exactly the same here for the ETH chart. I mean, if you just look at this is just screaming liquidity right here. So I think once we are getting that ETH rally, it can go very, very fast. So I rather take 1 or 2 stops than missing out on this major rally to the upside, because I think that the potential can be tremendous until we are making a new all-time high. So far ETH has been really weak, but I think once this puppy is going, it is going. Therefore I am getting more and more bullish on ETH. I think that it's way out of balance compared to BTC. I'm expecting new all-time highs, maybe not this year, but then probably in the beginning of next year. But I am trying to enter a long on one of these levels, and my idea is to keep it open as long as possible, because there is a major potential on these trades, and that's why I'm so bullish. If you like the content, guys, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think this is useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Both of those links you find in the description. See you guys very soon again in the next one. Bye bye.